Hey all. So I hope you're all good there. So I wanted to do this little video because it's time to do a video, and I've not done one for a while. And I always see it as a good sign when I can do a video. It's like, yes, because it means I've managed to get enough time and space, and I've managed to feel healthy enough and in a good enough way to feel like I want to show myself on camera, Not that it's about anything vain like that, but it's about, feeling like you have something to say and that you're enough in your power that you can bring that forward. I can breathe a lot. I'm going to breathe a lot during this video. Firstly, I want to say lots of love to anyone watching this and all you people. God bless your amazing souls, and I'm very grateful for the people in my life those who are supportive and those who aren't supportive as well. Or maybe they are, they're just, challenging. Most are supportive, so thank you very much for that. And thank you for the lights that you are. I'll keep pausing this video as I do it. But yeah, so I'm in my tent here, which is quite interesting. And I'm in my mum's garden, because I've come to see my mum because she's not been very well. And I've been out playing some music. And it's very crazy in the town, like it's quite, full on, even though this town, luckily, there's not like loads of cars. So it's a very traffic-free road, which is quite nice actually. Maybe that's why I like it quite a bit. But still, when I come home, it's like, need some space, need some time to just rejuvenate and just come into the body and just really relax. So when I say about coming into the body, it's about really relaxing and really feeling what you feel, in this body. I'm going to my stomach here, so I guess I'm trying to tell you that for me it's about being aware of what I feel all within my body, but my stomach's an area in which I have a lot of emotional stuff stored. And the breathing really helps with that, which is good. Thank you for life, thank you for air, because the air really, really moves things. So it was very, very stressful and very, well, it wasn't very, very stressful, but like for me, it was, I needed to just have a rest when I came home. It was a good, enjoyable day, to be honest, actually enjoying playing music. But by the time I started riding home on my bike, about an hour's ride, it was like, oh, give me a break, I just want to get home now. When you get back, like your legs just want to rest. They really want to rest, and just everything wants to slow down and just really, really relax. And my message here, I suppose, is that I don't feel like many of us relax properly because we're always like, bing, something else we need to do. Oh no, I didn't do that. And I had a few of those when I got into the tent before. And I was like, no, you just need to stop and just relax a minute, because your mind will tell you, I've got to do this, this, that, and the other. But the thing is, if you go and do that stuff, you might find that you don't get that chance to relax later because someone or something comes along, and the way it is, this world, there's always something. So I just thought I'll just come in here and just slow down and relax. And that's very, very important because, as I say, a lot of us don't really fully relax. So I'll just pause that there and do a bit more breathing and then carry on in a second. So I feel like it's very important for some of us to really have that moment and that time where it's like, no, I'm not engaging with anything or anyone, and I'm just going to have some time out and just relax and just have some space, just so I can really slow down and ground and just, come into my centre sort of thing. And I'm seeing a lot at the moment of people very caught in the fear and very, and I'm not judging fear there. I'm just saying that we desperately need that soothing space, you know. And I suppose in some way, especially for us guys, it can be harder, like that ability to nurture ourselves and truly know what we need. And the thing is, when I came home, I was like, right, I want to get this CD done with my music and all this stuff, you know. But my body was telling me, my body was saying to me, you need to rest. Go and rest, because you're going to need to rest, because stuff may be coming on later in the day that is going to challenge you a bit more. So, you know, you need to just rest now. And this time, instead of just getting on and carrying on, carry on, I decided to stop and just listen to what my body was actually telling me. And I think that's really, really powerful, because so many of us don't actually listen to the true message and the true needs of what our body is saying, you know, and that becomes very normal to be out of touch with that, you know. People who, for instance, you know, wait ages before having a drink, or they wait ages before going to the loo. You know, there's people like that who get so absorbed in feeling like they need to chase their tail. You know, I mean, I sometimes do that when I'm working on a song, you know. I'll be like, actually need to go to the loo, but I'm so excited with this song. That's a different thing, I think, maybe, you know. But anyway, I try and keep this kind of short, but that was the other point. Was that I was thinking, well, try and keep this short, because, like, people don't have much time, you know. And isn't that funny? Because it's like, we want bullet points. We want, like, bam, 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 bam. You know, just give me the answer now. It's like, you know, because I don't have time for this. I don't have time. And there's a sense of urgency and a sense of desperation behind that. And I think with a lot of the fight, flight, and the traumas people are carrying, there's a real feeling of that desperate need to make things all right on the outside world. And when we come to that center, when we truly feel okay, because okay is our natural state, it's the body's natural state, well-being, I truly believe, is our natural state. And breathe. So all we're wanting to do here is really allow that well-being to come, and allow the chattering monkey mind to just take a back seat a second, while we really allow ourselves to be without any pressures. And I know that's hard, because the fears are pulling on us most of the time. There is a kind of sense of urgency in some ways on this planet, because the way things are, we know that things are wrong. But of course we need to come at solutions from a balanced place and feel balanced with our decision making. And sometimes when you go out of kilter and you go out of sync, it's easy to go down a downward spiral. You know, I've been there before. When I was travelling a couple of times, I did that, and I missed the bus out from Barcelona, me and my lady at the time, and we got mozzie bitten, and everything just went crazy, and we didn't sleep very well, and it was noisy in the park, and, you know, it's just nuts really, but managed to get out that one again. So sleep's very important, rest is very important, you know. Right, I'll have a little break here. So we all have different ways to relax and ground, you know, and I don't think it works to say, you know, to judge somebody else's way as right or wrong, you know, what they're doing. You know, for one person it can be reading a book, you know. For another person it can be going for a walk out into nature, you know. So we really need to be able to have understanding for different people and their paths and their comfort, you know, their comfort zone, and the things that they do, the things that they need, or they feel that they need to feel safe and to feel okay, you know. And I feel I'm learning to feel safe just within myself, which is good. But certain things make me very happy, like music and that. But it's interesting when you can feel yourself grounding down, and you feel it's almost like the body just releases. It's like the tension releases. I think that's what it is. And it's obvious that the scientists are saying now that, you know, stress is causing a lot of trouble in the body, and stress is causes a lot of tension in the muscles and that, you know. So I feel that when I relax like this, and I actually relax on the earth a lot, you know. And you know, in the summer it's nice to just come outside in the garden and just slow down and relax there. And having had trauma myself in my past, I know how much people and how much we can want to get away, you know, how much we want to try and alter our experience, whether that's by food or drugs or alcohol or gambling, sex, whatever, all these things, you know. And they're not wrong or right, they're what they are. But sometimes we feel called to get to the root of what's going on, to the soul, to what's underneath the cravings, underneath the addictions, you know. And for me, that was inner child, lots of inner child stuff, you know. For example, an example of one time I really realised that my inner child's feelings were affecting me was when I was travelling, which was quite stressful, on my bike across Spain, and I was eating 3 bars of chocolate a day and getting pretty crazy on them. And I couldn't stop, it was getting addictive, you know, and I felt a bit yucky actually. I felt a bit, you know, just my energy going down really. And I want to be vibrant, you know. I believe we're quite bright lights as humans, you know. We're meant to be a bright light, shine bright, you know, do what makes you passionate and happy. And sometimes these addictions pull us down, you know. And I laid down in this same tent here while I was travelling, and I put the chocolate to one side and I said to myself, look, what's going on here, you know. And I laid down and I started deep breathing, and all this emotion came out. I've done this a fair few times, but this time it was to do with the chocolate. I was using it to suppress. All the emotion came out, and it was really good actually. It's to do with my childhood trauma of leaving my mum when I was young. And it was definitely in the belly. A lot of the emotion was in the belly. And cleared that out, and I looked down at the chocolate again, which was like there, and I was like, no, not even that bothered. You know, for me to feel like that, literally, I can't have, if I start eating chocolate, I can't have it there and not eat it. You know, it's like I want the whole thing, and then more, and then it's like never ending, you know. And it was brilliant because I just looked down and I was like, no. And I could feel my inner child there. My inner child was like, no. You know, my inner child was like, you've actually helped me today. You've helped me process these emotions and these difficult feelings. And they're very grateful for that, the parts of our soul. It's very, very powerful doing that. And it really helps change our life and helps us in the now, even though a lot of these emotions are from the past. So it's a gift. It's a gift to be able to be with yourself, because many times I would eat to avoid something. Say life got stressful, I'd just be chucking the dates in, chucking the especially chocolate, or normally for me I wouldn't have chocolate, but I'd have sweet things like dates and figs. And yes, there's not really generally anything wrong with those, but I would be just eating and eating and eating. It's overloading the pancreas, and I always knew this. It was overloading my poor system by being out of control rather than eating just a few and then just letting go, you know. So this addictive sort of personality comes from deep wounds many times, you know. And I really care about those wounds in people and myself. And I can say that with clarity, you know, because I don't want to see anyone stuck in that stuff, because, you know, it's not fair. And well, it's, you know, it's just what it is. But with smoking, with alcohol, with all those things, it comes to a point where people feel like, no, I want to change this, you know. But often when they stop, the underlying issues come up, you know, that are underneath. And I have a lot of, you know, compassion and respect for people who are actually addicted and haven't managed to break free. I have a lot of respect for them as well, because it's freaking hard for many people, and we've got to stop as a species judging others that are being pulled and controlled by this strong addiction. because there is a reason behind everything. And when we understand what these reasons are, we truly have compassion and understanding for people's journey. Now, who's to say that someone's journey isn't what's meant to be, or isn't part of their life experience, you know? For us to say that that's wrong, you know, who are we to say what's wrong and right with these things? You know, it's hard to see people suffering, but if they can find a way when they come through the suffering, bloody hell, it's powerful. It's really powerful, you know? It really is powerful. And for me, I feel grateful that my life is coming through the other side of some of these things, you know? Which is why I want to speak out and say about it. I'll have another break. Press the pause button. Can continue in a minute. So I will be open to helping some other people if they feel stuck in their life or want to find out their soul purpose. Break addictions especially, you know, all of those things. If anyone's interested, do message. I feel like now is a time where we need more people who are clear in the power, you know, not so pulled around by the emotion, yet able to deal with emotion, able to be with emotion, able to be with what is going on. And, you know, it's sad really, because there's so many people on this planet that are traumatized, and they would be doing amazing things. They'd be able to do more, you know. And I do feel like there's been a control agenda. I won't say where from, but you know, to keep us from healing. And, you know, as a species who is healing, reclaiming their power is just, you can't come up against that. You can't come up against that, you know, because the strength and the truth of the human soul is just phenomenally powerful. And I know many of us are not getting to feel that on a day-to-day basis, but it is there. And, you know, I'm really wishing people to come into that sense of strength. And it's not about having power because you need power because you feel weak. It's about having the power of the being that you are, the strength that you are. And that being, that light will guide you wherever you need to go. And it will be a strong anchor that guides you into positive life experiences, you know. But when your core energy is down, when you are taken down, when you are in depression, when you have lost your center and your anchor, it can be very hard to navigate yourself through this life without the negative experiences and, you know, getting caught in unhealthy anything, you know. So the soul is here to guide us, and that is your power. Your power is within you. And I truly believe that we've all got that guiding light, you know. So it's a really positive thing. It's like, yes, this is what will guide you into your life, you know. And it's not about rights or wrong or someone else telling you what to do. It's about you knowing so fully, without doubt, because doubt is the killer. The fear is like the, you know, the fear is the killer of the soul, you know. But like, yeah, I can kind of smile at that. I feel that many of us can come onto the path of our destiny, and that is beautiful. I'm not saying life is preordained or anything, but I'm saying that there are certain opportunities because of the gifts that we bring to really flourish into those abilities, you know, and that is what I'd call the destiny. So destiny, rather than being that you've got a pre-played out exact life, you know, I don't really believe in that, but you've got certain doorways that are open to take, you know. And well, you know, that's really powerful, you know. So hi to everyone who doesn't know me anyway, but you know, you're talking to a guy who's just wanting to express from his heart. Talking to a guy, you're not talking to me, you're listening to someone who's wanting to express from his heart, and just, you know, that's the thing. I mean, we all feel like we don't have time for much, but the thing is human species needs to make time now for sustenance for nurturing, for true nurturing of the human species, so that we can be of the benefit and best that we can for ourselves and those around us, you know. And I believe in diversity and that we're all here to do different things. So my thing at the moment is to do music and to help people with their healing journey, with all those things that I mentioned. So the website is there, Radiant Vitality. You can contact me anytime you want. And I think that life's just going to get better and better. But that's the positive state which I'm feeling in. And I know that it doesn't always feel like that, you know, but it does. It gets better and better. And I think I feel very positive because I've managed to clear a few addictions at the moment, you know. I'm not eating that chocolate. I'm not eating the stuff which really overwhelms my system, you know. It's putting pressure on the organs. And I feel sometimes we feel sadness in our body through the actual upset from the organs themselves, because our body system wants to be treated with respect and loved. But because of that desperate need in some of us to consume, to fill the void, it's almost like a self-abuse in a way, you know. And that's hard to get out of that, you know. And I admire anyone who can, and I admire anyone who can't, because, you know, it's as it is. And you know, as I say, the judgments need to go. I'll just pause this again and finish up, because I know it's quite a long video. So the last things I'd like to say about resensitization. And we're talking about resensitization of the body, because I feel life has been very stressful, because for many people, you know, we know the reasons for why the world can be very harsh and very grating. And I know some of us are more sensitive, and those of us who are definitely more sensitive, we feel things more deeper. And that can cause us to find it too much, you know. So again, the numbing out, you know, the foods, the drinking, all these things. And it can be anything. It can be something that's healthy. It can be exercise. It can be over, you know, indulging in anything that seems to be healthy in the beginning. But I just wanted to bring up that point about that, you know, and I find this hard because I feel like I'm avoiding things like yoga sometimes, because it really gets me into what I'm feeling. But at the same time, to be sensitized makes you feel stronger. So it's very weird in a way, because I guess what I'm trying to say is that by avoiding all our pains, by avoiding the things, you know, within ourselves that are painful, we actually are making things harder for ourselves. And there is a sense of deep peace within the body system that is ours in any minute. And I think with deep breathing, you know, consciously focusing on deep breathing, I mean for half an hour, you know, for a long period of time, really slows everything down and allows us to be that space around whatever we're feeling, whatever our troubles are in any moment, you know. And I do feel that these things are valid not just for those who believe that they have a trauma or that they are trying to bring healing to their life, but for the general population, because there is no way that fast-paced machinery and, you know, and the modern lifestyle is really that healthy for any human, you know. I think humans struggle with the idea that we're actually sensitive creatures, and that, you know, we're here to be sensitive, you know. But it's within that sensitivity that we find our calling and we find the intuition, you know, to help us move forward. Hey, Mum. Hello.
Sorry.
I was just doing a video. Oh. You can just say hello if you want. I'm going to put this up on Facebook in a minute, though.
No.
You don't want to say hello?
Well, I can,
Sorry,
but I feel really rough still. Oh. I couldn't find
This is what we're talking about healing and stuff.
Oh, that's good. I couldn't find you, so... Yep. Hello, Vicky.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, so I was just talking about trauma and stuff, but I was saying about breathing. and slowing everything down. As when I came from the town, I had to go and lay down in a tent just to really slow everything down and relax a minute.
Yeah, for the town, yeah.
And I could have got on with something, and I nearly did, but I realised that no, actually, I need to stop and rest, and my body. So it's about listening to it. But that's what I say about being sensitive. When we numb ourselves out too much, we lose connection to. Face is all brighter. We lose connection to what our body actually is telling us, and that's what happens with chronic fatigue, isn't it? It's like you don't know what you need anymore. You don't know when you need to rest.
And the messages, you don't really get. You don't really sort of know what the messages are unless you really sort of tune in, and you have to kind of like, that's a skill that you've got to keep working on, I think.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
And you can only do that, like you say, you've got to be still with it, haven't you? To
really find out, to recalibrate.
To
it's like go within and
exactly. Yeah, it's really important.
Because otherwise, you're just one of the many people who just go on and on for years, and then suddenly realise, oh, I'm actually burnt out. So it's good to always, whether you think you have a health condition or not, to actually just slow down.
Yeah, it is really important. Don't let yourself, wait until you get ill. You've got to allow yourself that time, and it can be draining, just like being around other people, or
that's true.
Being in the town.
You're very, very right there, and I think that's a really important thing to realise when you need to get away, and that's why, although it's hard quitting addictions and being sensitive or whatever makes you feel more, resensitized, it helps you in your life. It gives you a guidance system, and you realise, no, I need to go away from this situation, or I need more sleep, or whatever it is that you feel you need. And
it could be just something like your diet. Maybe there's something not quite right in that, and listening to how your body feels about that as well, because that's what I've been sort of trying to fine tune. Now I sort of know really, like, it's very limited what I can eat, that I can be okay eating, if you know what I mean. So I can eat lots of stuff if I want to, but then I know
well, that's it, isn't it? So it's strange, really. It's like, as I say, for me, it's things like high sugars, and it just overloads the body, But I wouldn't have heard that earlier, that message. If I'd been eating a lot of rubbish, I could have been in the high of it and not really. I mean, it sounds funny, but chocolate's like high, And if I had been eating like 2 chocolate bars like I was last month, I might have been just like, And it's not about judgment again. It's just about that, if you want to heal, then it's really coming into being in your body again and feeling again, which can be hard, but it's beautiful to feel, because it's a beautiful life, and to be alive is to feel, but it just becomes hard for some of us because of the things we've been through, and avoidance becomes just like a normal everyday thing, and we're learning to be able to face these things and be the eye in the storm. Go into the storm, but be the calm within the storm.
Yeah, that's a good one. Yeah,
which
within the storm.
Which I think breath actually does. I think deep breathing does actually do that, So I think it's always remembering as well that the mind always kicks up things about, what we should do and all this stuff, and we feel like we can't just stop for a minute and rest, but we need to rest now. Then the quality of what we do, like Eckhart Tolle says, is better. That's about it for me. Is there anything you'd like to say on that? That's what this was about. It was about, slowing down, taking rest and just resensitize, like being sensitive.
Yeah, I mean, for me personally, like, nature is like the catalyst. It's like the thing that brings me closer to just feeling more into myself, if that makes sense. It's almost, I need nature to feel that. Like you say, with the deeper breathing, I think that's so important. I mean, it's a thing we do automatically, but do we do it very well? Probably not really. So much. No, I know I don't.
Yes, I've heard that people with trauma, they hold their breath a lot more as well.
I do that so much, honestly, and that's why I think, and that can make, if you have the signs like you're yawning a lot, excessive yawning, that could be like you're just not getting enough oxygen.
Right. Yeah.
So it's and also that, when your breathing's like juddery.
Oh yeah. You've had that a lot.
I've had that a lot, especially if I've been upset about something. So I think, it's okay at the moment.
Yes, juddery can be from like a sobbing sort of inner child sort of thing, Yeah, so this is telling us basically the body responds so well to emotions, to our emotional state, you know. I mean, I know, for instance, like if people say to me, "Oh, you did really well. You've got a great opportunity. You could do whatever, you know." And I'm like, "Could I?" And I stand up
Mm.
straight, you know, my
Yeah.
spine becomes straight, you know. But anytime I'm like, "Oh, I'm a bit rubbish" or
It's
whatever,
deflated.
it
Yeah.
deflates. So, you know, I really think there's a lot to be said for trauma healing, which we're moving into understanding now. Truly, and I think like that with the breath as well. You know, I feel that once these things are released, the body starts to return to its normal, optimal state again.
Yeah, definitely.
And breathe.
And it feels better just being out here. And I don't know. I feel like when you're out here as well, maybe because of the quality of the air, rather than being indoors, you know, there's such a difference just being standing here and sort of being in my house and breathing that I can feel like so much difference. That's why I want to sleep out again, because I feel like the air really helped. The fresh air really.
Well, it feels very empowering, doesn't it? It feels, you know, it's nice to have the comfort of the home when it's needed, but it's also nice to get out and feel that fresh energy. But the winters can be hard in places like England, and then you don't want to get out. You know, it's like, ah.
Yeah.
For some of us, because I think that's a very sign of people with trauma, like they find cold hard. You know, they find anything that feels uncomfortable. That's right. Yeah. So, but yeah. Lastly, just want to say about the nature. Yeah, that's right. Let's see. Oh, well, it's just a gate. It's just a fence there, but it's not really nice over there, and the sky's beautiful.
And I've got a sea over there.
We've got the sea over there.
There's a sea.
But yeah, the nature is just like, I really feel like Gaia, you know, Mother Earth. She has a spirit, and she is here to help us. And you know, that's why the forest is so important.
Yeah.
The nature is so important. To lay on the earth here and there when you can will stops inflammation. Scientists have proved that now. It stops inflammation, calms down the body.
Oh, that's nothing I was going to say quickly. That when I was camping that night, when I actually got to sleep about 10:30, and my normal sleep time is like 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So that was really good. But also, I remember now that my breathing was like way better.
Is that from sleeping in the tent sort of thing?
No, it was like when I was awake before I even got to sleep. When I was actually laying in the tent,
yeah.
my actual breathing felt so much better. I could for some reason, I could, breathe much deeper.
Well, it's interesting, isn't it? Because I found that my body doesn't want to actually breathe when I'm in a house. You know, so my body is literally saying to me, "I don't want that air."
Yeah.
That's interesting, isn't it? Because we talk about food all the time, but the body's saying, "I don't want that air." And Dan the Man, you know, life regenerator in Hawaii, he talks about that. You know, he's been on raw food for years, but he talks about that the air is his number one most important thing
over anything else. Yeah.
So that's saying something, really, isn't it?
Yeah, and getting that quality air. So
quality.
I think you've got to work on these things like, healing from maybe different sort of standpoints. Like diet, obviously.
Angles,
your fresh air, nature. All the things, reconnecting with yourself.
She's got it. That's my mum. That's my mum there.
Because I've had a raging headache all day and felt absolutely dreadful.
Yeah.
But that's another thing. Like, you come out here and it does help. It doesn't take away the pain at the moment, but it definitely helps, I think.
Yeah, that's good. Well, yes. On that note, we'll finish the video. But yeah, it's all positive. That's the type of thing we're going to be doing here. That's what we're doing. So
yeah, it's all good.
That's what we're doing on the Radiant Vitality thing. Take care, everyone, and just message me if you feel like it.
Take care, everyone.
Bye-bye.
Bye.